The sanction screening system continues to perform really well after the improvements put in last year by Ely Data Quality. However, as you can see, the sanction list continues to grow and the workload to review the raised alerts have increased accordingly. Several Russian vessels have been added.
I see. Have the reviewing team been coping?
They have, yes, but they've also been coming forward with ideas to help reduce the workload.
That's good to hear. Can you share an example with me?
Yes, of course. So, as I mentioned, we've been getting more alerts involving vessels. One of the team had a closer look at those and they identified a pattern in the review decisions that are being made.
Tell me more.
The pattern is exhibited for those instances where entities are matched by looser name matching rules. For example, those that match with fewer name tokens in common or allow for more typos between the names.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
It occurs to us that it would reduce the reviewing workload if those alerts were not raised at all.
That sounds interesting. How would that work?
We don't want the looser name matching rules to raise alerts when comparing entities where one is a vessel and the other is not a vessel. But we do still want the tighter name matching rules that sit higher in the match rule list to raise alerts in these instances. We will also still want to raise alerts on the looser name matching rules if we do not know whether either or both of the entities is a vessel or not.
I see. That sounds like a good approach. Let's give Ely Data Quality a call. I know from my last conference that they have helped some other companies with their screening systems. Let's see if they can put this idea in place for us.
Good afternoon, this is Ely Data Quality Limited. How can I help you today?
Hi, it's Abby at Metella Insurance. How are you? We've had an idea about reducing the number of false positive alerts. I wanted to see what you thought about it.
Sounds interesting. What would you like us to help you with?
Our alert reviewers have identified a pattern of alerts that are always reviewed as false positive. Preventing these alerts from being raised in the first place would reduce our reviewing workload.
Can you tell us more about this pattern?
Yes, of course. We want to prevent entity alerts being raised when one of the compared entities is a vessel and the other entity is not a vessel, except on the Titus 6 match rules. However, if you don't know for certain whether one of the entities, either customer or watchlist, is a vessel or not, the alert should continue to be raised as it is now. We do not want to risk missing any alerts.
We have done something very similar with another customer fairly recently. I will ask one of the team to arrange a visit. Metella Insurance uses an excellent established commercial screening system with a number of match rules. The screenshot above shows the 6 strongest entity rules that Abby mentioned on her call.
Metella's screening system allows for elimination rules. When elimination rules are hit, due to the matching logic, they stop any further comparisons for the current customer record, watchlist record pair.
This new elimination rule will fire if one of the compared entities, either customer or watchlist, is positively identified as a vessel and the other is known not to be a vessel.
When the customer data and watchlist datasets are prepared, each entity is flagged with an attribute isVessel. If this is set to Y, then the entity is positively identified to be a vessel. If it is set to N, then the entity is positively identified to not be a vessel. However, a null value shows the entity has not been positively identified either way.
A comparison is added, entity is vessel, and checks whether either of the DN vessel indicator attributes are set to Y. If either or both of the customer and watchlist values are set to Y, then this comparison evaluates to true.
A second comparison is added, vessel indicators equal. This checks whether the DN vessel indicator values are identical. For instance, both set to Y or both set to N. If both customer and watchlist values are equal, then the comparison evaluates to true. Note that if either or both values are null, then the comparison evaluates to null.
This screenshot shows the truth table of the 9 possible values from both comparisons.
This screenshot shows just the first 2 rows of the truth table. The elimination rule will only fire if both the watch list and customer records have been identified with certainty as either vessels or not vessels, and one of them is a vessel, and the vessel indicators are not equal.
The elimination rule fires when entity is vessel evaluates to true and vessel indicators equal evaluates to false.
So, how did it go with the sanctions list work last week?
Ely Data Quality have done another great job. They understood the requirements perfectly and they implemented the elimination enhancements just as we asked. Our team are now able to focus more on the alerts that really need their attention.
That's fantastic. Many thanks for sorting this. I'm glad this will help you, and let's stay in touch with Ely Data Quality. I understand they also do testing of screening systems.
They do indeed. I've heard fantastic things from peers and other companies. They can test any screening system. Apparently they don't just simply throw thousands of test records at the screening systems. It's far more targeted and thought out. Every test case has its very own expectation that they reach while sitting with the customer. The business drives the expectations. They also know the watch list inside out, and they have spent their careers sorting out name matching issues for several satisfied customers, so they are perfectly positioned to run functional testing. We should definitely keep in touch with them. We need to get them in to test our systems.